Imagine driving to your usual grocery store and seeing a paper sign taped to the window. This location is permanently closed. No warning, no transition, just gone. This isn't an isolated case anymore. Analysts expect tens of thousands of retail shutdowns in the next few years, and 2025 is already shaping up to be one of the heaviest closure years on record. Grocery chains, once seen as recession-proof, are now quietly cutting locations across America. And when they close, the impact is immediate. Longer drives, higher prices, and entire zip codes being pushed toward what experts now call expanding food deserts. Today, we're breaking down 10 major grocery chains shrinking their footprint in 2025, and how these changes could affect your community before the year ends. Number 10. Kroger. For over a century, Kroger has been the dependable grocery option for millions of families. But in 2025, the company confirmed it plans to close roughly 60 stores over the next 18 months. Why? Grocery stores usually operate on just 1 to 3% profit margins. When fuel, wages, and transportation costs rise, even slightly, entire locations become unprofitable in weeks. Kroger is also stuck in the most dangerous spot in retail, the middle. Budget shoppers split their trips between Walmart, Aldi, and Costco. Higher income shoppers drift toward Whole Foods or Trader Joe's. Kroger risks becoming the store that no longer has a clear identity, and when that happens, closures follow. But for many towns, Kroger isn't just a store. It's the only pharmacy, the only fresh produce option, the only place a family can trust for affordable weekly groceries. When Kroger leaves, local routines break overnight. Number 9. Albertsons and Safeway. The collapsed merger with Kroger left Albertsons scrambling. In early 2025, management admitted that store closures are likely as they reshape real estate portfolios. One of the first confirmed closures, Roseburg, Oregon, is set to shut down with no replacement planned. Safeway, owned by Albertsons, is also trimming its map. Stores have already closed or announced closures in California, Oregon, Alaska, and Maryland. Some shut down because of underperformance. Others cited rising crime and safety concerns. On paper, these closures are strategic adjustments. But in many communities, they're the only supermarket within a 20-minute drive. Number 8. Giant Food. In Ashburn, Virginia, a giant supermarket nearly 65,000 square feet in size is closing after almost 2 decades of operation. The company said nearby stores and delivery services can replace it. But for longtime shoppers who built their routines around that location, the explanation doesn't change the time, cost, and traffic involved in every grocery run. Number 7. Amazon Fresh. When Amazon launched its fresh stores with just walkout technology, the idea sounded unstoppable. No checkout lines, no cashiers, just grab your items and leave. But grocery retail has razor-thin margins. The technology cost millions to install and millions more to maintain, and the math simply didn't work. In early 2025, Amazon began closing U.S. fresh locations, including Manassas, Virginia, and Thousand Oaks, California, both less than 3 years old. Even more surprising, all 19 fresh stores in London are also closing. What was once marketed as the future of shopping is now being quietly scaled back. Number 6. Save-A-Lot. Save-A-Lot was built to serve low-income households, neighborhoods that other chains often ignored. But in 2024, around 40 stores closed after a poorly executed rebrand. In 2025, some were reopened under a refreshed format. Others were permanently shuttered. Local news reports show closures happening in states like Indiana and Pennsylvania, often with little or no warning. Every time a Save-A-Lot disappears, prices go up. Not because food gets more expensive, but because the gas tank does. Number 5. Family Dollar. Family Dollar's troubles are deeper than financial pressure. In 2024, the company pleaded guilty to a massive food safety scandal involving a rodent-infested distribution center. one that forced temporary shutdowns of over 400 stores across southern states. But that's just part of the story. The parent company, Dollar Tree, announced it will close 600 stores, plus another 400 plus as leases expire. That's nearly 15% of all Family Dollar locations. In many communities, Family Dollar is the nearest grocery source. No Aldi, no Walmart, no local market. When it shuts down, families are pushed 10 or 15 miles just to get basic supplies. Some towns don't lose a grocery store, they lose their only store. Number 4. Winn-Dixie. In the South, Winn-Dixie isn't just a chain, it's a tradition. But its parent company, Southeastern Grocers, struck a deal to sell most of its locations to Aldi. Around 220 stores will be converted over the next few years. But not all will survive the transition. Some locations in Alabama and Florida are closing completely instead of becoming Aldi stores. Southeastern Grocers is planning an exit from Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and parts of Georgia. So while Aldi may take over, the community identity tied to Winn-Dixie may not. Number 3. Piggly Wiggly. Over 100 years ago, Piggly Wiggly helped invent the modern supermarket. But in 2025, long-standing locations are fading one by one. In Lynette, Alabama, a store operating since the 1980s shut down in January. In Columbia, South Carolina, a location known locally as the Social Pig is closing after nearly 50 years. No bankruptcy hearings, no drama, just quiet closures and empty parking lots. Like the past is being erased without a goodbye. Number 2. Sprouts Farmers Market. Sprouts became popular as healthy food without Whole Foods prices. But inflation has changed what affordable means. Strawberries that used to cost $5 now push $9. Fresh greens are becoming luxury items. Shoppers still want to eat healthy, they just can't pay for it. In 2025, some Sprouts stores in California, Colorado, and Arizona have reduced staff or quietly closed with no public announcement. When middle-class families can't afford fresh food, Sprouts loses the very audience it was built for. Number 1. Aldi, expansion that leaves some towns behind. Everyone knows Aldi is growing fast. In 2025, it plans to open around 200 new stores nationwide, while converting roughly 220 Winn-Dixie and Harvey's locations it acquired from Southeastern Grocers. It sounds like good news, and for many towns it is. But here's the part most headlines don't mention. Aldi is choosing which communities to save and which ones to walk away from. During the conversion process, some Winn-Dixie stores won't reopen at all. In parts of Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Georgia, the old supermarkets will simply shut down, with no Aldi taking their place. The parent company is exiting entire states, and Aldi only converts stores in locations that meet its profitability metrics. That means this: 2 towns can lose the same store. One gets a new Aldi in its place, the other gets an empty building. Aldi is not saving Winn-Dixie. It's selecting which communities still deserve full-service grocery access and which ones no longer make the cut. And that's why Aldi sits at number 1 on this list. Not because it's failing, but because it shows how grocery access is becoming a privilege, not a guarantee. Grocery chains aren't just businesses. They shape where people live, how communities grow, and how much daily life costs. Closures don't always make headlines, but they do redirect traffic, shift housing demand, change retirement plans. And in many parts of America, losing a grocery store raises one question before anything else: who gets left behind, and who still gets to eat well? So ask yourself this: if your closest grocery store vanished tomorrow, how far would you need to drive just to make dinner? If this opened your eyes and you want to stay ahead of the next wave of closures, hit subscribe, because the grocery map of America is changing fast, and this might just be the beginning.